The moon doesn't get much bigger and brighter than this. On Monday, sky gazers across the world will be treated to a so-called supermoon, the closest full moon of the year. It will be closer to the planet than it has been since 1948, and this month's full moon is said to be the biggest supermoon in living memory. The once-in-a-lifetime sight takes place on the 14th of the month, when the full moon will appear 14% larger and 30% brighter than normal. Why will the moon appear larger? The moon's orbit is elliptical rather than perfectly circular, so as the moon moves around the Earth, it is sometimes a little bit closer and sometimes a bit further away from us. If a full moon happens to occur when the moon is also at its closest point, then it will look slightly larger and brighter than usual. This is what is popularly known as a supermoon. Dr. Marek Kukula, public astronomer at the Royal Observatory Greenwich, told it's a natural part of the moon's cycle and happens around once a year. The differences in apparent size and brightness amount to few percent, but they can enhance the already beautiful sight of the full moon, making a supermoon worth looking up for. For this reason, it appears to be bigger than normal by about 10%. We usually get between 4 and 6 supermoons a year, but this November is special because the moon will be closer to Earth than at any time this century, and we won't get as near again until 2034. During the event, it will appear up to 14% bigger and 30% brighter than an average full moon. A winter supermoon is supersized because the Earth is closest to the Sun in December each year, which means its gravity pulls the moon closer to the planet, making it appear brighter and larger than those that occur during the rest of the year. The best time to view a supermoon is when the moon is low on the horizon, where an illusion will occur that makes it look unnaturally larger. According to ACCU Weather, since the moon's orbit is elliptical, one side is about 30,000 miles closer to Earth than the other one. Can you see it? The supermoon will arrive next Monday, on November 14th. As long as the sky is clear, it should be an excellent night to gaze upon the lunar spectacle. It will be the second supermoon of the year, the first having already happened on October 16th and the third expected on December 14th. At 8:09 p.m. GMT, the moon will be the closest it has been to the Earth since 1948. At a distance of around 217,000 miles, this will be when the moon is at its biggest and brightest during the day. I've been telling people to go out at night on either Sunday or Monday night to see the supermoon, said Noah Petro, deputy project scientist for NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter mission. The difference in distance from one night to the next will be very subtle, so if it's cloudy on Sunday, go out on Monday. Any time after sunset should be fine. Since the moon is full, it'll rise at nearly the same time as sunset, so I'd suggest that you head outside after sunset or once it's dark and the moon is a bit higher in the sky. You don't have to stay up all night to see it unless you really want to. Where's the best place to view it? Experts suggest that, provided that the sky is clear and you have a view to the south, the moon will be clearly visible. Like any full moon, it will rise above the ground in the east at sunset and reach its highest point in the sky at midnight before descending to set with the rising sun. Colin Stewart, astronomy author, told this is the same for everyone on Earth. For an even better view, try viewing from a spot with as little light pollution as possible. The extraordinary visual effect of the moon is more pronounced when viewed near the horizon. The moon will look particularly big when seen close to the ground. It isn't actually bigger, but due to an effect called the moon illusion, it appears like it is, Mr. Stewart said. So if you can view it rising from a location with an unobstructed eastern horizon free from trees and buildings, you're more likely to see it at its biggest. You don't need any special equipment to see the supermoon, just your eyes and a clear, cloud-free view of the sky. Dr. Marek Kukula, public astronomer at the Royal Observatory Greenwich, told the moon usually appears most impressive when it's close to the horizon, so look out for it as it rises in the eastern sky around 6 p.m. on the evenings of November 13th and 14th. If you want to watch it without even moving out of the house, SLU Observatory will be doing a live broadcast. Many people these days don't have a connection with the night sky because light pollution ruins our view of space from built-up areas, Mr. Stewart said. Some something as easy to see as an unusually bright full moon is a great way to spark people's interest in astronomy and think about how our solar system works. Hopefully that will make them curious about seeing more of the wonders of the universe for themselves. Does the moon affect the weather? Some argue the moon has an impact on the weather, but the evidence shows this is not significant. The weather isn't affected by the moon, Dr. Marek Kukula told. However, the moon does affect the tides, and because the moon will be at its closest point to the Earth, high and low tides may be slightly more extreme than usual around the date of the supermoon, but only by a few centimeters. Dr. David Harland, space historian and author, said it's possible that the moon may be a kilometer or two closer to Earth than normal at apogee, but it's an utterly insignificant event. Previous supermoons took place in 1955, 1974, 1992 and 2005, all years that had extreme weather events. Conspiracy theorists say the tsunami that killed hundreds of thousands of people in Indonesia happened 2 weeks before the January 2005 supermoon. And on Christmas Day 1974, Cyclone Tracy laid waste to Darwin, Australia. But Pete Wheeler of the International Center for Radio Astronomy greeted warnings of an impending apocalypse with skepticism before the supermoon in 2011. There will be no earthquakes or volcanoes erupting unless they are to happen anyway, he told news.com.au at the time. Earth will experience just a lower than usual low tide and a higher than usual high tide around the time of the event, but nothing to get excited about. During a full moon, the sun and the moon are pulling on Earth from opposite sides, making the chances of any dramatic tidal events unlikely. Does a supermoon cause mood swings or lack of sleep? While the full moon can turn people into werewolves, some people do accuse it of causing a bad night's sleep or creating physical and mental alterations. To establish if lunar phases affect humans, an international group of researchers studied children in May this year to see if their sleeping patterns changed or if there were any differences in their daily activities. The research studied a total of 5,812 children from 5 continents. The children came from a wide range of economic and socio-cultural levels, and variables such as age, sex, highest parental education, day of measurement, body mass index score, nocturnal sleep duration, level of physical activity and total sedentary time were considered. Data collection took place over 28 months, which is equivalent to the same number of lunar cycles. These were then subdivided into 3 lunar phases: full moon, half moon and new moon. The findings obtained in the study reveal that in general, nocturnal sleep duration around full moon compared to new moon reported an average decrease of 5 minutes. No other activity behaviors were substantially modified. Our study provides compelling evidence that the moon does not seem to influence people's behavior, said Dr. Jean-Philippe Chaput from the Eastern Ontario Research Institute. Another study found healthy adults slept for 20 minutes less time during a full moon. Historically, full moons have been linked to a lack of sleep because of the bright light that shines from them. Why are we so fascinated by the supermoon? Always surrounded by an aura of mystery, the moon and its possible influence over human behavior has been object of ancestral fascination and mythical speculation for centuries. Myth and folklore feature tales of werewolves being affected by phases of the moon. Folklore and even certain instances of occupational lore suggest that mental health issues or behaviors of humans and animals are affected by lunar phases, Dr. Chaput said. Whether there is science behind the myth or not, the moon mystery will continue to fascinate civilizations in the years to come, he added.